Joining me now, Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, great to see you.
Hi, Megyn.
So what do you make of that exchange where Kane's response was she took responsibility for what she said and apologized?
No, she didn't.
And he's suggesting Trump never has apologized to anybody for anything.
But she didn't, and that's not fair. Let me break it down this way. First of all, because she got caught on tape at a fundraiser with her donors, which is how she usually spends her time, insulting tens of millions of Americans, calling them a basket of deplorables and irredeemable at that. You add to that the Bernie Sanders voters, who we since heard again in a fundraiser or a donor's pitch, where she insulted them as basement dwellers who have this fantastic idea.
She said they're in the basement struggling to make something out of their lives. She didn't say basement dwellers.
It didn't sound very nice. It didn't sound very complimentary. And even Bernie Sanders said he had a hard time listening to that. But the fact is, this woman has disdain for people, in part, and then he said he had a hard time hearing that. But look, Megyn, it's very simple. American people know that she has insulted people, that she has disdain for lots of Americans. And I like the fact that Mike Pence brought that up, because the reason he used the word fraction was very clear. That Tim Kaine wants to talk about this comment or that comment by Donald Trump, and yet you have a woman running for president of the United States who has expressed disdain for lots of Americans, and that's why he used the word fraction. The other thing that was happening there is Tim Kaine was never answering the question. He came ready to have spill out of his mouth this unending flow of sound bites and canned responses. They came off terrible. There he was interrupting a female moderator. We lost track of the time. We just stopped writing it down. He was interrupting.
You can interrupt a female moderator, same as a male.
Well, no, it's the Clinton campaign who loves to throw around words like sexism and unhinged. They've got to be regretting those words on a night like tonight when Tim Kaine looked like both.
They got into a long discussion about Putin and what Trump has said about Putin and what he hasn't said, and we had that exchange teed up, and then we have a bit of a fact check. Watch.
Donald Trump again and again has praised Vladimir Putin, and it's clear that he has business dealings with Russian oligarchs who are very connected to Putin.
Let me be very clear on this Russian thing. The larger question here.
Do you think Donald Trump is smart to not pay taxes?
What we're dealing with is there's an old proverb that says the Russian bear never dies, it just hibernates. And the truth of the matter is the weak and feckless foreign policy of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama has awakened an aggression in Russia.
Things you've said about Vladimir Putin. You said, I will tell you, in terms of leadership, he's getting an A. Our president is not doing so well. And when referring to a comment that Putin made about you, I think he called you a brilliant leader, you said it's always a great honor to be so nicely complimented by a man so highly respected within his country and beyond.
Well, he does have an 82% approval rating. I've already said he is really very much of a leader. I mean, you can say, oh, isn't that a terrible thing? He called, I mean, the man has very strong control over a country.
So Trump, he did say that Putin was a leader and compared him unfavorably or favorably to President Obama, and even Mike Pence actually came out and said it's inarguable that Putin is a stronger leader than Obama.
Meaning in their respective countries. Yes, I mean, I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
Well,
Putin is a strong leader. Well, do you believe that? Does Donald Trump believe he's a strong leader?
He said he's
that the people follow him because they feel inspired.
And Obama is here, and you just heard Mike Pence use the words feckless leadership. There's no question that we're respected less around the world. There's no question that if Donald Trump and Mike Pence are president and vice president, that the American exceptionalism, the peace through strength, in America first.
Kellyanne, you understand where this argument goes. I mean, Putin's had journalists shot in the street. So it's a little jarring for people to hear him praised by Donald Trump as a strong leader, stronger than President Obama.
He's stronger there than he is here. And he also says, if you play the full clip, Megyn, he also says in the Commander-in-Chief forum, different forum, that he says that I don't necessarily agree with that system of government. That's what Donald Trump said. I was there that night. He says, but he's a strong leader there than Obama is here. Nobody thinks Obama's a strong leader. I mean, if Obama were a strong leader, his Secretary of State would have 55%. Why in the new CNN poll? Why in the new CNN poll is Hillary Clinton at 53% among women? She's running as the first female president. There's something holding her back, and I frankly
she's beating Donald Trump by some 20 points with women. I mean, why is Donald Trump at 32%?
Not really, not in all polls.
Kellyanne,
but she's got a gender gap of her own.
She does. She does. She's losing.
She has a gender gap over men.
She has a huge gap. There's absolutely no question about that.
And
but you're sitting here suggesting why are her numbers low with women, and you work for Donald Trump.
Right, she's the first
His numbers
president.
are historically low for a Republican nominee with women. Historically low.
Well, Mitt Romney lost women by 11 points, and John McCain lost
Mitt Romney's numbers are crushing Donald Trump's numbers with women.
It's not election day yet. Why are we winning Ohio and Iowa?
There's 35 days to go, Kellyanne. I mean, the criticism of Donald Trump is that he could win this race and that he was doing well and he was rebounding and his numbers in various states were rebounding. And then he went after Miss Universe and talked about her being too fat and talked about women's looks again. And women don't like that,
so
according to these polls.
I guess I would focus on why we're here, which is the vice presidential debate. I thought Mike Pence did a fabulous job.
Which is all about who should be
tonight.
elected president.
Well, but Megyn, in fairness to Donald Trump, his very first execution of leadership and judgment was what after he became the nominee? His selection of Governor Mike Pence as his running mate. And America saw tonight how wonderful that selection is, because this man, as governor of Indiana, has cut taxes for employers and individuals. The unemployment rate was slashed in half. He's expanded school choice and charters. He's brought manufacturing jobs back. I worked with Mike Pence for probably 10 years as his Colstrom senior advisor. The guy will make a fabulous vice president. And you juxtapose him against Tim Kaine tonight, who basically spent most of his career in government services, is no stranger to the debate stage. Yeah. And you think that Tim Kaine's performance tonight is going to sit well with women? I think what you're going to hear from all the pundits. That was my first question to Larry Davis. I think you're going to hear from all the pundits tonight. These vice presidential debates don't really matter. They won't move the polls because they know how lopsided the victory was for Mike Pence. I got to go because I got a Clinton campaign representative coming up. We're going to talk about that. Great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So for